Laura, I want to just kind of get to some things that people have a concern about. These Uakava votes, the overseas ballots. I know you guys have an entire operation at the RNC. It's important to know that overseas ballot requests are actually down by half since 2020, and that there is a get out the vote operation that the RNC is doing to try to get Republicans abroad in Israel, for example. What are the facts here? Because there's been a fair amount of chatter here. The news is actually much better about overseas votes, which is a very flawed system. We just have to acknowledge. But it's actually, we're in a much better place when it comes to overseas balloting than we were in 2020. Lara, please educate our audience on this.
Yeah, you're right. It's a flawed system, but I think, Charlie, that's the overarching theme for our elections right now. And I think we all want to get back to one day of voting, voter ID, and paper ballots across America. And we can see that day, but we've got to get through this system right now. We've got to get Donald Trump back in that White House. We have to have the House and the Senate, and then we can make actual change in this space and make it a really great system that really works for this country, that doesn't leave sweeping questions. And that's what we've tried to do at the RNC. Until we get back to that moment, we're going to tackle everything we possibly can ourselves. So you have a couple of states, for example, like North Carolina and Michigan, who were actually allowing people to possibly fill out these overseas ballots who were not residents of the state. The law stipulates that you have to be a resident of the states in order to actually cast a ballot. Anywhere we've seen any nefarious activity like that, we have sued and we've actually won. And so they're not able to cast those ballots in those two states. But you're right to point out that the numbers are actually much lower than what we've seen in traditional elections. In 2020 election, for example, the numbers are much lower for these requested ballots. Now, we have put a big push out to try and recruit Republicans from across the world. These are American citizens who have the ability to vote, and we know they're Republicans, and we want them to vote in this election. But anybody concerned about this, believe me, we have eyes on it. And look, I think whether you're talking about the overseas voting, whether you're talking about illegals voting in this election, whether you're talking about making sure that we're requiring, signature verification for the absentee ballots here in America, we at the RNC have really done everything possible, and we have our eyes on everything. I think the problem the Democrats are running into right now, Charlie, is that they're truly finding it very hard to cheat. They're finding it very hard to cut corners because they know we are watching. They know how smart the American people are. And by the way, people send me things all the time and they say, can you check this out? The second you send it to me, I'm going to check it out. I'll give you an example. Scott Pressler flagged a couple of weeks ago before the Butler rally, where Donald Trump returned to Butler, Pennsylvania, that the state of Pennsylvania was, for some reason, going to conduct a revamp of their voter registration site the very hours that Donald Trump was going to be in Butler, Pennsylvania. What do we do at Trump rallies? We say, are you registered to vote? If not, get registered right now. Go online right now and sign up. It was really a bit egregious that they decided to do it on October 5th when Donald Trump was there from the hours of, I believe it was 5 p.m. to midnight. So as soon as we saw that, the RNC tackled it, we addressed it, and they shifted those hours to be overnight hours so that it wouldn't interfere with our ability to ask people to get registered to vote in Pennsylvania. My point is, with all of these things, and especially with these overseas ballots, I know it's sort of the buzz of the moment that everyone is concerned about. I can tell you we're watching it all. I can tell you when we see problems, we address them immediately. But to what you just said, and I'll repeat it for the audience right now, these numbers are actually down from what we have seen in the past. And so we have our eyes on it. We want to make sure every legal vote is cast and counted, but only legal votes are cast and counted. So we're watching this like a hawk as well.
I know you guys are, and you have a much more sophisticated voter integrity, an election integrity operation than anything we had in 2020. About 2 minutes remaining here, Lara. Can we just go through some of the states that are the high emphasis? Obviously, it looks like Pennsylvania, and there's also this news about Michigan as well. Can you just help us understand? Jocelyn Benson says that there's disinformation, but it seems as if 500,000 more people are registered to vote in Michigan than those old enough to vote. What is the fact of what's happening in Michigan?
Yeah, look, we're looking into all of this right now. Jocelyn Benson, by the way, Charlie, the fact that I know some of these secretaries of state by their names, that it's very upsetting to me, but this is how often we've had to sue them and go after them because they're not doing the right thing. Michigan is a state that Donald Trump intends to win. And I think if you look at the numbers right now, you'll see it's trending very much in his favor in the state of Michigan. We're looking into this, and anywhere that we see anything that might be illegal, we're going to tackle it. We're going to request, a full audit of what they have going on there. We've already had them clean their voter rolls. We cleaned 92,000 inactive voters off the Michigan voter rolls several months ago already. So we're looking into this. When I get something to report back official, I'd be more than happy to come back on and notify your audience and let you guys know what's going on. But we can't have this. Look, we want free, fair, and transparent elections. And that has been our charge at the RNC. The irony, Charlie, is that we've reached across the aisle to our counterparts at the DNC and said, would you guys come be part of this election integrity push? Because we want every voter to feel great in America, that your vote matters and your vote counts. We have not yet heard back from the folks at the DNC. We'll let you know if we do. But truly, we're on top of all of it. And anytime anybody sees anything, send it our way, because we have 15 days to victory. We're not going to let anything slide. We have a great legal team at the RNC, and we have 500 lawyers in each battleground state ready to go, ready to, at a moment's notice, tackle anything that they see that could be concerning.